Good Friday evening to you, everyone. How are you? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic Friday. As for me, I am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in the swamps of Central Florida, and I hope you are having a really, really, really great Friday, folks. I got to tell you, this is since we stepped away at the end of November. This is the first real return to flight, for lack of a better term, for the show, for the live stream. I am so glad to be back. I am so glad to be ready to do stuff again with you guys, not just sit here and ah. But let me tell you something. If you are just stopping by for the first time, if the winds of YouTube have blown you this way, and believe me, YouTube blows, and you don't know what it is this channel is all about, well, let me suggest something. Let me make a recommendation, if I may be so bold as to intrude on your space. Click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, if that does in fact not happen automatically. And then you'll get notifications about all the videos I do, the newsy videos, the live videos, the interviews, the Let's Plays, all of that sort of stuff. And I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I would love to reach 7,000 subs by the end of this year. That would be nice. I think that's an entirely attainable goal. So if you're already subscribed and you already support this channel through subscription or membership or Patreon, which you can do for as little as $2 on YouTube or $1 over on Patreon, please, if you would, please tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor's dog if they're so privileged as to have internet access, to come over here and subscribe for all the good times. And I will be greatly, greatly appreciative of it. But what we do on Friday nights, let's say you're just tuning in. Maybe you're one of those wonderful people from Orlando Health who subscribed. Hi, hello. You guys are awesome. What we do is we do live plays of tabletop role-playing games. In this case, on Friday nights, we play Gamma World, a post-apocalypse science fantasy role-playing game. I think you'll enjoy it. I do think you'll enjoy it. We're a little different. We're a little different in how we approach things, because maybe you're thinking, sure, okay, I know Critical Role, I know this, that, and the other. Folks, we don't have table reads, we don't have script sessions, we don't have story arcs, we don't have seasons. The players don't know, and I don't know, beyond having an adventure outline or a module, exactly precisely what's going to happen in this here role-playing game. The dice know. So you'll know when I know what has happened or what indeed is about to happen. We could have, in the space of just a short amount of time, a total party wipe. And then everybody has to roll up new characters and we start over. That's how real role-playing game works. And this is real role-playing that we're sharing with you guys. We're not putting on a show. We are, but it's just, stuff is just going to happen. Okay? Stuff is just going to happen. Because that's how we do things. That's how we do things around here. So I am celebrating tonight. I have a little bit of a libation. I have some Lindemans Creek. At least I think that's how that's pronounced. Kriek. It is a cherry flavored, we'll say soda for the sake of the algorithm, for what YouTube kind of does. Let me just run down through here before I bring in our players. Yang Zhao, Kennek, Orbital Air, Robert Phillips, Dungeoneer. Yeah, I'm doing better. I'm doing 100% better. Thank you very much, Dungeoneer. Robert Phillips got a new black ray pistol. Don't point that thing at me, brother. Jorge Uribe, greetings to the far end of the earth. I have viewers and listeners who are out on the ends of the earth, and Jorge is one of them. Rob N, or is it Rob N? I'm glad you're able to catch a stream too. Bob Schult. Damien X247 out there downloading Skyrim mods like it's 2013 or something. More power to you, brother. Don Walton found me recently, subscribed last night, got a Gamma World group restarting. Don, that's awesome, man. That is great. That is good to hear. And the inimitable Michael Dale. So, let me bring you guys up to speed on the scenario before I invite our group in. We've still got a few people. We've still got a person, one of our players, to see if they can jump in. Hopefully they will be, but they also have family stuff going on, and that's something you're gonna actually see that around here on the show periodically. We'll say, okay, well, they got 5 people playing D&D, or they got 4 people playing Gamma World, or whatever. The thing is, this is real tabletop gaming. Did you ever play a campaign beginning to end, and everybody made it every session? Nobody was late. Real life didn't intercede. They didn't have a flat. They didn't get all the way there and have to turn around and go home because something came up at home. They didn't have a good family event to tend to. And that's the kind of thing that can happen around these parts. So we, to quote Gary, proceed apace. But anyway, Orbital Air out there asking the important questions. Why isn't power armor lead lined? Who's to say it's not? Lead is not a universal stopper of radiation. It slows it down. It blocks a lot, but it doesn't block all. And a concentrated radiation beam. Boop. Yes, that's what it sounds like. Scientists don't want you to know that, but that's what it sounds like. A concentrated radiation beam will go through lead. I mean, we can see that real life examples of it. There is a scene in HBO's miniseries Chernobyl. The scene is based 100% on fact when they finally receive a high rating dosimeter to find out how many Roentgens are being emitted by the, at this point, 24-hour exposed core of the Chernobyl reactor. The officer, the army officer who's going to go do it, says, I'll have them line a truck with lead. And one of the scientists there says, even with lead lining, it will still be dangerous. So there you go. I mean, sure, give me a foot thickness of lead, and I'm probably safe. You know. Just a foot thick lead dome, me standing in it. You want to You want to put me in there and then slide that up next to the exposed core of Chernobyl. I'm probably safe. Probably. But it's sliding a foot thick lead dome that would be big enough for me to not be squished inside, right? But anyway, so that's about the long and short of it. We're gonna get going here in just a minute. I'm keeping my eyes on our green room. My 3 players are pacing around curiously. Doomsword is shadow boxing. That's a little strange. Yang, put your shirt back on, please. But anyway. So we'll get going here in just a hot minute or two. Don Walton was running Omega World 3.5 D&D for a bit, switching to Mutant Future in a week, getting closer to original old players, old GM, with a few youngsters in as well. Excellent. Irradiate them all. Yang says, never the shirt stays off or I don't go on. Well, I'm not going to cramp your artistic style. But anyhow, I am excited to be playing Gamma World again. It's going to be interesting, kind of knocking off the rust, the fallout, if you will. Now, for those who are curious about our dice rolling, like, oh, well, I guess we'll just sit and watch you play. We do actually have an on-screen. We have a visual die roller. Let me just throw this out there and see if that shows up for you guys. There you can see it. So my die rolls, the player's die rolls, they will all show up on screen, so you'll be able to see them. And Yarrow has clicked her dice to hidden, and I don't know why. But anyway, so yes, that is through the excellent DD Dice. Now, that is not an endorsement. I'm not like, pay me or anything like that. But if you want to do that, if you want to have an overlaid dice roll mechanism, whether you're doing your virtual tabletop in private or whether you're streaming like we do here, you might check them out. I have found their technical support to be excellent. So I hope that you may find likewise excellence from them. Fabrizio Aiello says, I'm here to watch Yang get killed by getting an infection from a rusty nail. The adventurer's greatest enemy, tetanus. If you wanted to watch the characters die from commonly curable ailments, AD&D has a perfectly excellent set of disease rules, but then there's cure disease, right? However, this game, this little SOB right here, which I quite like, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Yeah. Welcome to Tetanus Town, population cholera. So anyway, Rob N says, I haven't played Gamma World since the 80s, so it will be nostalgic to see it again. I hope you enjoy it, Rob. But there's one thing I want to point out, and this is actually going to put me a little over the 15-minute garrulous chit-chat moment. But I do feel I need to take it. Someone was made a comment on a video that anyone who still plays, well, they were talking about AD&D, but anyone who still plays older RPGs is just doing it for a nostalgia kick. We have much better systems now. That is untrue. Nostalgia implies Angel's Diner, if you remember those, hey, come on down in your 57 Chevy and listen to Buddy Holly music and pretend like you're really there. We're not pretending like it's 1978 here. All right. We're enjoying an RPG that we're not throwing out simply because something new has come along. Newer does not mean better. Daniel Pasilis, good to see you, Daniel. Welcome. Welcome. So then let me go ahead and put on my headphones because I think we're actually going to be shy a player, at least for a little while. And I'm going to bring our players on one at a time. I'm going to let them tell you about their characters, and then I will recap what is going on in the campaign for those who've missed it. So first we have Techno, the humanoid.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going all right. That is Doomsword Deathmaster playing Techno. A little info on Techno, Dooms?
Yeah. He's a youngish individual, which you can tell by but like looking at his overall condition within the wasteland. He's not very tall. A good bit shy of 6 feet. He's a human for the most part. He wears IR snoopers a lot and prefers to keep them kept off, so that he doesn't accidentally send out a radiated eyes upon any of his friends. He wears plant fiber armor, keeps a couple of torches, a nice knife, short sword, and a spear, and a strange looking ray gun at his side.
Excellent. Excellent. And we have next up Yang Yan Zhao playing Sam, which of course we all know means surface to air missile, but Yang?
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm a 48 centimeter tall bird who uses a spear to get my dinner.
Oh my gosh. All right. So there we have that. And last but not least, we have Kennek playing a pure strain human named Sandy. And I may have just given away like everything. I'm Sandy. I'm a pure strain human.
Pretty much. Hey, beeps. Yeah, the last time we played, November 29th, Sandy came to be. So she joined the group at the end of the session. So she's pretty new. Plant fiber, spear, knife. That's about it.
Alrighty, very cool. So tonight's scenario, and it is what has been going on. We are playing the classic module that comes with the Game Master's screen for first edition Gamma World called Albuquerque Starport. And the characters on the verge of starvation, out of supplies, near the rebuilt settlement of Kirkay, saw rising up out of the desert a great spire of metal. Approaching it, seeing perhaps it would offer them shelter and surcease from the pounding rays of the sun and the grit and the sand, found a vast underground complex. And within they have found automata and living creatures, dangerous, and many interesting pre-cataclysm artifacts that they have collected. So we join the group as they are exploring the ruins of the Albuquerque Starport. And last time, if I recall correctly, last time you had found a chamber, and in that chamber was a device of pre-cataclysm origin. It must have been a power source of some kind, because when you pressed the big red button on it, the lights within this strange place all began to snap on. click, 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 click. You can hear a faint humming sound, like a circulation of air around you. And let me describe your current environs to give you guys a kind of a better understanding of where you're at. Yes. So there's soothing music that's playing. There's this constant sort of hum that's you don't think is just from the air vents. It's kind of a steady humming noise. The chamber you're in, let me look at it on the map so I can refresh everyone's memories. It's an L-shaped room in the southeast corner of the starport. It's about, let's see, it's each leg of the L is about 40 meters long, and the horizontal leg goes to the west, and of course you've got a northern leg. And there's one door in and out. The metallic cube with the button on it you would push is in the southeasternmost corner of this room. But you hear soothing, pleasant music being played. There's the omnipresent hum. You all kind of look around. What do you wish to do? Oh, intrepid adventurers.
So you said there was a button to push?
There was a button to push. You did push it, and it appears to have switched on the main power in the I feel like it was Sam who actually pushed the button, wasn't it? It's been a hot minute or two.
I don't know. I kind of the last thing I remember is flying up an escalator.
Well, you guys might have actually gotten back to that point after switching the power on, but the power is on. There is pleasant music playing everywhere. Lights everywhere now.
Is there any areas for us to search? Desks, lockers, anything like that?
There are some metal consoles with various glowing numbers shining out of different squares of plastic here and again. But you don't see any like desks with drawers and that sort of thing.
I'm going to check out the closest console, see if I can make sense of it.
Okay, give me a D10 roll. A 4, and I believe that becomes
And
a
my
1.
intelligence is, sorry, I didn't do the -2 on it.
That's fine. Okay, so that becomes a 2. Let's see. That will most certainly succeed on the first roll. And if you guys are curious what she's doing, in Gamma World First Edition, there are a number of charts. They're flow charts, really. They're not tables. They are flow charts that determine how well or poorly a person can figure out a piece of ancient technology. And Kanek has made the first check to see. All right, so yeah, this apparently is some kind of status indicator, but beyond that, you really don't know what status it's indicating. There are some kind of vertical looking scales that kind of bob up and down and then settle in, some needles that move back and forth. They indicate 0 over here and 100 over here, and some of them are sort of in a green area. Some of them are all the way over to 100. Some of them are exactly vertical. But what these indicate and what it might be, you don't quite know yet. Do you wish to continue investigating?
Yeah.
All right,
And I'm
give
gonna
me
wave.
another.
I'm gonna wave people, the rest of the team over. Say, hey, help me out here.
All right,
This is
give me
interesting.
another D10 roll if you would, please. There, Sandy. Getting a 3. Okay, that's easy enough to figure out. So yeah, you're looking at there's one marked stability, another is marked surge, which that needle is over on 0. There's another one which is marked coolant, and then another bank of the sort of vertical indicators that are all sort of fluttering a little bit around the midpoint in green that is labeled output. All right. You want to keep going?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, I kind of maybe have an inkling, but
Okay. So that becomes a 1. And yeah, this is definitely associated with that big black power cube thing behind you. And you think these, given that you can see branching tubes sort of running out of the sides into the floor, there are a number of those that seem to correspond with the number of the vertical gauges that are indicated. Do you wish to keep going?
sure. I seem to be doing pretty well. I mean,
All right.
it's probably the power source behind us, but
Okay. Dooms, is Techno doing anything?
Yeah, he'll go ahead and follow along.
Okay. All right. So you know that you can now adjust at least the gauges on the bottom. You can there's little dials. You're like, oh, okay. If I turn these, it seems to adjust the range. So if you turn them all the way to the left, the none of the power dims, but the numbers change at the top to a bigger number, and that level drops. But you think that's just kind of a matter of scale. Like if you have it set to 100, where it was before, they just kind of bob in the middle. But if you crank it to 10,000, the green line goes all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
Gonna keep going?
oh, sure. I mean,
All right.
green line at the bottom sounds like it's a good thing.
All right. Another D10 roll. And another 1. Okay, so yeah, you're getting a handle on this. The coolant levels are nominal. You're not getting any power surges. You can adjust your scale. You can tweak a few things there. And go ahead and give me one last roll if you want. That is a 4. That becomes a 1. So yeah. So basically, you know how to power on, power off this station, and monitor the micropile fission fusion reactor cube in the corner of this room. So you now know how to monitor the output levels, coolant situation, and everything else to do with that. What is Sam doing while all this is going on, Yang?
Sam is, I think he's just following along. He's probably like tweeting softly to the Muzak and
Okay.
watching Sandy work this thing.
All right. So Sam's just back there. All right. And Kevin's character, whose name I have forgotten because it's been 6 weeks, he is just kind of stroking his chin and nodding. Yes. Yes. I see that.
I
All right,
could have told
so-
her that.
All right, everyone.
Congratulations, Sandy. You figured something out.
All right. So yeah. Anytime you find a micropile, a Westinghouse micropile fission fusion reactor of this type, you will not have to roll to use a monitoring station to tell whether it is on, what its coolant conditions are, and what its output levels are.
Awesome. I mean, what are the odds I'm going to encounter another one? But hey.
All right. So, that and a few other panels along the walls with blinking lights are all you guys really see in this chamber. What next?
Well, any plans? You seem to be the one who understands everything around here, so what do you suggest?
I just saw the screen and decided to investigate.
And well done.
Thank you.
What next? And you're welcome.
So is there any other exits besides the one we came in from this room?
No, you don't see any.
So it sounds like we will have to go back and continue our exploration.
I think there were some more levels.
Lead the way.
Sam will very slowly start walking in front of everyone.
All right. Ah, good. My PDF reader fell down, went boom. Give me just a second. All right, so you depart this room out of the door on the north wall of the east-west leg, if you will, and you are back in the hall. A couple of light panels above you flicker, but it is brightly lit, and the music that you were hearing is now more prominent. You can hear it, and you can clearly see all the way down the many meters to the west where this opens back. And of course, if you go right 20 meters, there is a short hallway that leads to the north.
Well, so we have not been to the north, right?
You have not been to the north. I do not recall if the party has been to the north.
The north it is.
All right, so you begin to stalk to the north. I say stalk because you've got the long legs.
He's got chicken legs.
All right. Now I do know that some of the party
eagle legs.
Before they met Sam, you guys had fought Seps to the north. So you had been there, you had cut them open and found some goodies within them. But so you step out to the north. You can clearly see everything now. There's 4 huge counters, dozens of benches, a central lounge with a large glowing pillar in the middle of it. There is a large picture window which mirrors the one on the other side of the starport. It has collapsed inward. There's a huge amount of sand that had flowed in there. There's the corpses of the Seps. You can see them clearly. However, you notice there is like some force that periodically moves back and forth across your view out the window that seems to be slowly picking up and pushing the sand back in great waves. Slowly but surely, like a great invisible hand, is sweeping the sand back as it moves back and forth. So, what to do?
Odd. I'll take a closer look at it.
Okay, so other than motes of sand sort of caught in it and then they're almost immediately pushed away from you, the beam of force that seems to be sweeping back and forth and pushing the sand away in waves is totally invisible. Now, it has not pushed away the large collapse of sand that has taken out a huge portion of the windows. Let me get over here because I want to kind of describe a little bit of what you're seeing as you move closer. And look at that description. All right. So these counters that are set up, that you can see there are gleaming humanoid shapes standing behind them. As you approach, as you get close, moving in that direction to look at the window, one of the shapes actually calls out to you in a very friendly, mellow, sort of genderless voice. You know, it's not particularly high pitched, it's not particularly low pitched. Call it an alto. Good evening, sir. If you're looking for travel anywhere across the globe or into near orbit, Luna, or beyond, come and fly with Zestar Aerospace. Low, affordable ticket prices for you, your lovely wife, and your pet exotic bird.
What?
Well, it has a point there.
Complimentary pet tranquilizers are available.
Even more of a point.
I could go for one of those.
Yeah, it sounds appealing.
Those are worth a lot in Albuquerque.
Sam want a cracker?
Sam can always go for a cracker.
Okay, so to the north of this area, and the other counters all have these same sort of robotic units that are addressing you guys. It's the same general spiel, you know. Some of them say, looking for an exotic getaway? Ski the ice slopes of Mons Olympus on Mars.
And these guys are moving around and whatnot, or
They're not walking back and forth. They're stationary, but they are gesturing, sort of waving stiffly. To the north of this whole area, you can see lit up in characters, letters you don't quite understand. There is a series of signs. There are 3 corridors to the north there. And above each corridor, left to right, you see 2 shuttle 4, 2 shuttle 5, and 2 shuttle 6. In the nexus of these 4 booths, there's a large glowing pillar that extends from a maybe a meter above the floor to the ceiling. And the last meter is solid. Standing in the midst of it, as you approach, you can see a glowing figure. It's a woman. She's wearing very neatly trimmed navy blue clothes. She has a round hat with a short black bill on it, and she is telling you something. As you kind of walk around the ticket booths, it looks at you and says, "Hello, sir. Welcome to Albuquerque Starport. Are you aware that despite recent news reports, the weak Delta radiation actually can have benefits? For example, it can destroy harmful bacterium that may have become lodged on your clothes or on your skin. It can leave you feeling like you've gotten an all-day tan without the negative effects of ultraviolet radiation or any long-term effects on you other than a refreshed, comfortable, relaxed feeling. Do you have any questions?"
None, child of technology. Greetings and felicitations, and we will leave.
All right. So you have the aforementioned corridors to the north. You have an opening that leads out of this area to the west, and of course, the area to the south where you guys came out of.
And those corridors to the north, we can't like make out anything from this distance about what might lie beyond.
They are very well lit. They stretch into the distance some ways. You know, you can see that it's lit up the whole way, and there appear to be chambers at the end. What's at those chambers, you don't know.
I look at the lady and say, so what is to the north?
I'm sorry. I am not programmed to respond in that area.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like we're on our own.
Hey, lady, where do you keep the valuable items?
If you have a question about the storage of personal valuables, please consult the purser on your shuttle. If you need to requisition or rent a storage locker here within the airport, you may see an info kiosk.
I say we check out these shuttles, such as they might be.
Where's the closest info kiosk, please?
She indicates to the west and says, "You can find info kiosks all around the central convenience hub in the middle of the starport." Oh, I forgot. It's been so long. I could have been using the voice changer. Oh, well.
Shall we go to the west and use the kiosks to see where everything is?
Well,
Make ourselves a
perhaps
map?
if you wish. However, we have shuttles this way.
Maybe if we look at the info desk, we'll find out what's at the other end of these shuttles.
Assuming the shuttles exist. But very well.
That's what I was going to say. Who knows if they're still there or not?
There's an easy way to find out.
Your call.
I believe it's your call.
Let's go check out if the shuttles are there.
This works for me.
Okay. As you approach the, or as you walk down the corridor, It goes on for probably 100 meters to the north, and through the windows in the side, because you can see now the sand in this area has been pushed back almost completely. You could see what looks like a strange missile at the end of this corridor. And you can also see in the distance, in the far distance, there are 5 other similar looking missiles, but they're all in pretty rough condition. They're all in very bad condition. They have cracks and dents. One doesn't look like it's sitting on its tail exactly properly, but it looks like this corridor will take you right straight to the end.
Seems like a wise move, Sandy.
Now let's keep on our toes and continue to investigate.
Hey, so I have this lantern thing
Uh-huh.
on my sheet. How many
Okay.
more? I left it at 10. I think I'm like the requisite lantern tracker unless somebody else is doing it.
Well, all the lights are on, so you don't need it.
Okay, so we'll just leave it like that, and we'll assume
Yeah.
the lantern has been shut down.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so at the end of this corridor, there is a round chamber, maybe 10 meters across. It's not very big. On the far side of it, there's a doorway, and there is a bluish white light shining through that. And beyond there, you can see a brightly lit chamber that is much larger than this one. On this side of the chamber, and you think you can see on the far side of the chamber, there are doors that are that are open, swung out of the way. Doc Flamingo, greetings.
Okay, so all the way across the room, there's a door that's glowing, and there's a radiate or an area of luminance beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got other doors that are similarly illuminated. Where?
No, just the one door across from where you guys are.
Well, it seems our path is clear. Who goes first?
I'll go.
I suppose that. Oh, well, there we go.
So Sam will do his best to be all sneaky.
All right, Sam, you sneak your way in. You think as much as a 48 centimeter tall bird can do. This chamber is brightly lit. It's empty except for a ring of thickly padded chairs and a hollow plastic shaft running from the middle of the floor to the ceiling. In front of each chair is a small round window. All the walls are padded, and you can see what look like little looped handles spaced evenly around.
Do I see like the remains of people or any like robot conductors or anything?
Nope, nothing like that.
Any leftover luggage?
No.
Looks okay, guys.
Very well,
Shall we proceed?
indeed.
So I'll follow the path of Sam.
Okay.
Sam will take a look and see if there's any like controls or an info panel or anything like that.
No, there's nothing like that here. There are just these very comfortable looking, well, comfortable if you're a pure strain human or the size and shape of one, which I can't remember if Kevin's character is exceptionally tall or not.
I want to say that he's that this particular character is regular tall.
I think he's regular size because he
Yeah.
had an extreme height and an extreme opposite of height. So I
Yeah,
think he was normal.
he ended up like 5'5" because of his mutations. Like one would have made him like, minute bowl, but then the other one shrank him back down. So, all right. So there's the aforementioned central shaft with an opening that is pure strain human or smaller sized in it. Also, you can see along the walls of that shaft periodically, there are similar handles to the ones that are in this chamber.
Okay, so these handles, do they look like they can be manipulated, or it's like a something that's
Like
fixed?
handles you would grab onto.
Right.
So if you were in like a subway car or something.
Yeah.
It seems that we would hold these handles. And if we would hold these handles, we would need a reason to hold these handles. And if we would need a reason to hold these handles, then that must mean that the object we were in would move. Inertia and all that.
Maybe holding the handles makes it move.
We can try.
Sam will flap up there and grab a handle and just kind of hang from it.
Okay. When you go in the shaft, Sam, it is next to impossible to. You're flapping around, but gravity that you're usually fighting against is no longer present. You're just kind of floating around. It takes you a minute, but you're able to grab onto one of the handles in there. You're just kind of drifting in zero gravity.
And nothing else happens. to
No,
him?
no, nothing else happens to him.
All right. Well, I'll do the same.
Okay. Entering this shaft. Yeah. You don't fall, you don't rise, but your clothes kind of billow out. Your, little tied leather thongs that hold it, your pouch you keep a flint and tinder in, that sort of thing. That all just kind of drifts out, and you're just sort of hanging there. And looking in the upward direction from your perspective outside the tube, you can see that this shaft does continue straight up, and looking down, it also continues straight down.
Okay, basically into darkness.
No, it's lit. Above you, well, I mean, you're looking up a narrow tunnel, so you can't see what's above you or below you, but yeah, the areas above you and below you are lit.
And right, so I would assume that these handles are sort of equally spaced all up along the thing, so that you could, right?
Yes.
Well,
Sandy's going to grab a handle as well and join the group.
All right. Kevin's character says, "That looks exceptionally dangerous. I'm just going to sit right here." And he kind of gingerly examines one of the chairs and leans back and says, "Oh, this is really comfortable."
Please do not get yourself killed.
No, and you the same. Just yell if you need something.
Indeed. I suggest we go to the top first. Above us. We can simply float up and grab on when we're done. We'll leave the stronger struggle on the way back.
Okay. So do you guys continue up?
Yep.
Alrighty. You find yourself in a room that is the same size of the room you just left, or so it seems. But this one is a lot more interesting and a lot less stark and sparse because it appears to be paneled in wood. Following the curve of one wall is a counter that is perhaps 1.5 meters. In front of it are a series of 4 padded stools. On either side of this chamber are 2 tables that are a few meters across, or a couple of meters across. I keep mixing up my freedom units. And there's a series of chairs around those. And on the wall opposite of where the curved area is, there are a number of differently shaped and colored cabinets of some kind. They're all activated and showing various interesting scenes that you can't quite make out. Sorry, I'm caught on my headphone cable. There we go. They seem to be displaying something. You're not 100% sure what.
Well, Sam's going to start rummaging through those different colored cabinets.
Sam, the different colored cabinets, they all have a horizontal slot about 40 millimeters wide. And above those, faded, in some places it's kind of rubbed off. You see next to it, 1 Domar coin or 1 Domar credit equals 1 play. Each cabinet has a series of buttons and levers on it. And some of them show scenes of flying, some underwater, some moving through star fields, some show what look like scenes of ancient figures in armor of metal battling each other. You're not sure what these do. I should point out the bar on the other side of this. There are many bottles still on the shelf.
Well, seeing the bottle, Sam is just going to go over there and see if he can wet his beak.
Briefly, yes, you can. Sam, you can consume as much as you want. There are square bottles, round bottles. All of them appear to be made of a very durable plastic, not glass, but it is so finely made that it appears to be glass. So,
are there any bottles with a little worm in it?
Roll a d6, please.
I'm going to follow Sam over there and try to read some of the labels.
There are absolutely. They have a golden liquid in them and what looks like a small worm. The labels are in such a strange, ancient script that you can't make out what they say. You see numbers, but not, you can't really read them. The words might have meant something in old languages, but now they're just whatever writing method they were using has completely baffled you.
Well, he is going to do whatever he needs to do to crack one open, and he's going to drink it down and eat the worm.
I'll help Sam. I'll take the top off for him and help him.
Let's see. What is Sam's constitution, please?
His constitution is 12, but he has heightened constitution.
He has heightened constitution.
So he has 18 resist to poison.
18 resist to poison. Okay. All right, Sam, are you consuming as much of that as you can to get to that worm?
I think in the first bottle, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed he also has heightened intelligence, so he probably would realize that he does not need to drink at all. So he'll probably take a taste and then do like one of those puzzles, like you need a 4-ounce glass and a 6-ounce glass, and how many of those do you need to do that? He'll figure that out to get that worm.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to well, I tell you what, roll a d20 for me. We'll see how that
Sam,
goes.
if you're looking for the worm, I can help you, buddy. I can help you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You can sort that out. You can get to the worm. The worm itself is thoroughly inured with the alcohol. Sam's had alcohol before. You know, you've eaten fermented fruits that have fallen onto the ground. You know that acidic taste, but it warms the very core of your center. And you know what? You don't really like the way Techno has been looking at you. You think you could take him in a fight. And the moment passes, and then you realize that Techno is one of the best sons of bitches you have ever met.
So he'll offer a glass of the liquid to Techno, and he'll say, "You want the next worm?"
No.
But there are other bottles of other differently colored liquids. Some exotic ones are blue, a few red, one green, but most of them are clear or some shade of brown.
Would Sandy be able to determine if any of them could be used for medicinal purposes?
Oh, you think all of this can be used for medicinal purposes?
So I'll take a couple bottles here and there.
All right, that's fine. You've got a couple of bottles.
Sam will say, "Hey, this one. I think it says fireball. Maybe we can throw these at our enemies."
Probably.
Also, you note that, Sam, because you've gone behind the bar, there are neatly stacked little plasticine containers. It's hard to make out what's inside of them, but they appear to have small round shapes in all of them. It's like they're pressed flat foil packets with some kind of round shape in each one. They're blue. They have an angled set of letters. You're not sure what they're saying, but there is some kind of mutant on the cover that is an elongate-looking being smiling with a single lens over one eye, a club or a cane in one hand, and some strange-looking hat on its on the upper part of its elongate, almost insectoid-looking body.
He is instantly incensed by the feather.
The feather? There's no feather.
There's no feather?
No.
He misinterprets something as a feather, and he is on the picture, and he is instantly unhappy.
Okay. So you're unhappy with that?
While we're here, there wouldn't happen to be like a tip jar or something with some Domars in there, would there?
You don't see anything like that, no.
No cash register.
Nope.
I'm gonna look to see if there's like any healing kind of stuff back here, because you know
there's
it is a
not.
bar.
There
are
sure
bar
is not.
fights. Darn.
There sure is not.
How about any weapons? Like baseball bat or
Nope.
sawed-off shotgun?
Nope. There's a couple of small boxes back there, but you don't see anything big enough to contain a weapon.
May we go now?
The
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
the central tube continues upward.
We'll follow it.
Okay. You continue up. Now, you are in a much smaller room. It's about 3 meters high. There are a number of consoles and various controls and things like that. There are blinking lights everywhere. And there are displays. You recognize these. You've seen these before, even if you haven't known what they've said. But one says ATM, okay. And another displays PWR, okay. And another says ENG, okay. And after a few seconds, a display says all functions green and go. All of the screens then change, and they change to this text, which is block and clear enough for you to read. T minus 30 seconds, and the 30 begins to count down. 29, 28, 27,
This seems to be a
26,
Yeah, let's
25.
move quickly.
24,
We should run.
23, 22,
Sam will
21,
take off in the air to get out of there.
20, 19, 18, 17. Okay, so you guys are jumping back and pulling yourself down.
Yes.
When you get down to the chamber that you were in before, there is a slight rumble, and Kev points at the door and says, "I didn't touch that. It just shut."
Likely story.
There is.
I'm gonna look at the screen. See what's up.
There's no screens. There's just there's the little round windows above each one of the let's see, above each one of the chairs, the easy chairs. And looking outside, this thing is moving.
Dang it, we missed the shuttle.
There's a great billow of dust above the portholes, and you can see the ground is slowly getting lower. You all start to kind of feel heavy, and it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier.
There's a place to sit down.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of these chairs.
I'm gonna get
I'm
in
sitting
one
on a
of those lounge
chair, and I'm
Okay.
like lounging
All right,
like a boneless chicken.
You sit down and it leans you back. What is Sam doing?
Yeah, I think Sam will try to follow suit in a different chair.
Okay. All right, Sam. You sit down, and the geometry of this chair seems to kind of grow up around you and cradle you, which is good because there is like you all just feel like you are being crushed against these chairs. The light outside the window gets much brighter. Because if you guys will recall, it was late in the evening, or late in the afternoon, almost sunset. So yeah, it actually gets much brighter. glancing to your left or your right or ahead of you through any of these windows, and especially looking up, because you can see the windows are angled over your heads, the ones that are right over you. Yeah, you can now see like darkness, and things get decidedly dimmer.
Looking out of my peripheral vision, assuming I'm flushed back into the lounge seat, is there a physical restraint? Should this thing stop so that I don't fly forward?
Interestingly, the geometry of the couches it's kind of risen up on your side, so you're held in place.
All right, just like the bird.
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, looking out now, like you kind of get this slight sensation of movement to one side. And glancing out the portholes now, you can see this blue round shape. You've all seen ancient globes before. It looks like that. And it is receding from view.
And it's still blue for the most part.
There's some scuddy brown parts on it. There's a big swirling cloud-looking formation over what you can only presume is a great sea. But yeah, it's still mostly blue with a few splotches of green here and there over land. But yeah, you are slowly rising upward, and the that feeling, that pressure feeling, that lasts about 10 minutes. And then you find yourself completely without any weight.
I shed a tear through one of my radiated eyes.
That tear just breaks off and floats in front of you.
Glad I had a drink.
Yeah, give me a percentile, not a percentile roll, a d20 roll for Sam, please.
A puke roll. Oh,
Yeah,
It's not going to be pretty.
You're fine. Well, I mean, he's a bird. He'd cough up a pellet, you know. All right, so you guys apparently achieve a steady degree of acceleration, and then there's some time passes. There's a bong, and your seats kind of unfold to release you. Kev pushes up slightly to stand up, goes spinning head over heels, bumps into the wall, which is thickly padded, and immediately grabs a couple of handles and says, "Okay, all right, that's what happens." And he starts pulling himself back towards one of the couches.
Kev thought bong, and he meant something different.
All right, so what do you guys do?
Is there any sort of like info panel or something that tell us where we're going?
No.
Maybe we can find a control room.
We're along for the ride. I mean, if I can get this thing to give me a massage or something, I would be like in heaven. I'm just gonna lay back and be here for the ride.
All right, so Techno, what are you doing now that you have shed a tear?
Right. So at this point, I have freedom of movement about the cabin.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll move toward whatever would seem to be the frontward portion and see if there's anything of interest.
Okay. Yeah, just just moving around, there's the lounge. You can now move as easily through the rest of the ship as you could through the tube connecting. Remember, the tube does go down as well as up. So,
Sure. Well, then I'll go aft.
all right. And how about Sandy and Sam? What are you guys doing?
Oh, Sandy's just relaxing in the seat.
Okay. And Sam?
I guess he's going to see if there's any new areas to explore, or any sort of a control panel, or like an in-flight menu or something somewhere.
There is nothing like that. The bar has the aforementioned visual entertainment things, the drinks, and there's the chamber that you're in, and there is something aft of it. However, after that, as Techno has gone aft, the chamber is similar to the previous chamber that you were just in, except the shaft that you enter the room in does not continue down. There is a locked door set in the deck off the center of the shaft.
So, with concerns to this deck, does it seem to be the floor as I remembered it when I entered this place? So,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it
would
is-
be where I was standing if I weren't in anti-grav.
Yes. If you were not in microgravity right now, you would be standing on the floor or looking at the floor, depending on where you are.
Sure. Thank you. I'll take a good look at the lock. Being that I have molecular understanding, that might help.
Okay. Okay, so so yeah, you touch the panel, and it does require a mechanical key or lever to open it. It is a simple electromechanical lock of some kind, but you don't have the key for it necessarily.
Does it look like the type of key that would insert into it, or is it like a key card type of interface?
The rather archaic compared to the rest of the technology, but it does look like just a type of key would slot down into it.
Okay, well, I'll make my way over time around the area that I'm in to look for compartments where such a thing might reside.
Yeah, looking around, you don't, you spend a while searching. I mean, the slot is fairly small. It looks like it could be a small thing. So you want to like search the cushions of each chair and so on.
Yeah. I'll give it more of a look while whatever anybody else does. Thank you.
Okay. So, Sandy, you're just lying there with your eyes closed and enjoying it.
Yep.
Okay. Sam, you're zipping around, enjoying flying in 0G. It takes you a little bit of experimentation, but you figure out, hey, I can fly in here. And it's kind of fun because, you can just tuck your wings around you and just tumble like a football. Put a nice tight spiral on yourself and just zip around, and you're not going to fall. And you do notice even here in the lounge, the walls, despite having that wood-like covering on them, they're padded also. So you're not going to go slamming into something and injure yourself.
Nice.
All right, so as Sandy is just lying there, her eyes closed, and Techno is spending his time digging around in the cushions, the accelerator couches below. Um, Sam, you see after, I don't know, maybe half an hour, you can see a large, battered, white toroid hoving into view through one of the windows in the lounge area. The ship seems to be adjusting itself precisely to approach it. You don't know why, but you feel compelled to hum on the beautiful blue Danube as you approach it. But you can see there are places in this structure where there's ragged holes that have been torn. And some of it is perfectly intact. There's little eddies of space junk floating around, tapping silently off the hull as the ship approaches. The rest of you hear a sort of a soft thump, and you all kind of move back and forth a little bit as you come to this thing. For Sandy and for Kev's character, who's silent, let's see, which one is it? Roll a d4 for me, if you would, please, Doomsword.
Two.
And we got a 2. Okay. So yes, the craft that you're in stops. Those of you who are lying in the acceleration couches, which are, of course, Sandy and Kev's character, you hear a humming noise, and then your ears pop. Like you get this really uncomfortable sensation in your ears, and there is an outrushing of air. It's not like suddenly impossible to breathe, or you see clouds of vapor forming or anything like that. But as soon as the door swings open, there's a it's not causing any damage to you. We don't have to roll anything, but you kind of gotta squeeze your nostrils shut and breathe outward. Try and force air into your ears to stop this really uncomfortable situation. And there is now an open door apparently leading into this structure.
You think they would have fixed that?
And who would have fixed that?
So does a chair unhug me to let me up?
Yeah, it did that a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I guess Sam will poke his head out the newly opened door.
Okay. There is a sparsely furnished room. There are aged-looking chairs. There are faded posters hanging on the wall here. You can see photographs, pre-cataclysm photographs, showing wonders that you've never seen before. Huge cities that look like they're floating in pink-orange clouds. There's individuals wearing bulky but still easy to maneuver in clothes on long skis. They look like they're sliding down a snowy mountain. All sorts of scenes of people just engaging in leisure activity of some kind in these posters. There's a bright orange, thick rug on the floor here, but there are places where there is a sodden, gooey brown puddle here and again on the floor. And I should point out, here in the station, there is nominal gravity. You're able to walk upright.
Do we see any signs that say where we are?
You don't see any immediate signs indicating where you're at. There is a tunnel that continues beyond this chamber inward towards a central hub.
Onward, Sam.
Sam will take out a spear and slowly and hopefully quietly walk up the corridor there.
Okay. The corridor is only about 10 meters long. It comes out into a... Go ahead.
I apologize. Yeah, I'll follow him with short sword drawn.
Okay. It comes out into a large circular chamber. There's an angular chamber in the middle of it, and you can see that as the walls curve to the left and the right, there are passageways that branch off of it. But the angular chambers in the center, let's describe those to you. To the angular chamber! You get an internet dollar if you can tell me what that is in reference to. Anyone? So let's see. The central area, the large central area has 5 separate areas. Well, you can see a couple. And the one that you're looking at when you come out of the short corridor is a triangular room. The floors here are transparent and they reveal a maze of complex circuitry and wiring. So you're not sure what they do, but in the middle of the triangular rooms, as I said, you've got the maze of complex circuitry and wiring, but you're not, have no idea what it is. The floor around here, when you first come out of the dock where you've docked, that is carpeted. It's just the triangular rooms that occupy the center of this round chamber that are bare.
So this maze of wiring and whatnot, is it exposed?
No, it is under a thick layer of some glass-like material.
Right. Well, what does the bird think? The bird is the bird, you know.
Can Sam see any consoles or anything like that?
Nope. You just have the hallways that go around to the left and to the right.
Well, I guess we try a hallway, see what happens.
Might I suggest the left?
We'll follow.
So Sam will start going left.
Okay, so you only have to go... Let's see, I forget what our scale is here. That's 6 meters, so yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, you only have to go about 40 meters. On your left, on the outside of the hub, the middle of it is these strange triangular rooms. There is a short 6-meter corridor that leads to another docking port, which is identical to the one where you guys landed. About 6 meters down from that is a very long corridor. Some of the lights in it are on, some flicker fitfully, but the curved outer path of the round room you're in continues on. Are you going to take the long corridor down? Are you going to continue following around? What are you going to do?
I think we'll continue following it around for now.
Okay. Well, you can clearly see from where you are, the round pathway continues on. On your left, after you pass the long corridor, you see another short corridor, another identical docking chamber, for lack of better. And then you come to another long corridor. You get the feeling like you're on a hub and these are spokes sticking out from it.
As we pass those other shuttle launching things, are there shuttles there?
No, there are not.
No. Okay.
So again, you come to a point. It would be basically at the 9 o'clock, if you kind of view this thing as a clock. It's about 50 meters long, another long corridor that extends outward. You going that way? Continuing? Are we continuing clockwise around?
I guess we'll have to take it.
I mean, you can keep going clockwise. It's up to you guys. I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Might as well go down the long one.
Okay. All right. One moment, please. All right, so you proceed down this long corridor, and that leaves you there. And that tells me, oh, ooh, okay. That is not what I meant to roll. Sorry. Alrighty. When you enter this large chamber, shuffling out from either side, at first you think these are humans wearing very kind of dirty, disgusting coveralls, and they are wearing the tattered remains of dirty, disgusting coveralls, but you don't think these are humans at all. No, indeed. For these things appear to be made of a dark brown, glistening, gelatinous substance. They are raising their fists and shuffling towards you. Does anyone here have a dex that lets you act before initiative? Do you have a dex advantage, if you will?
Nope.
I thought Sam did. Sam, what's your dex?
Nope. His dex is 13. You were thinking of Sweetums.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
And what about Sandy? I don't think Sandy does either.
No, her dex is 11.
Okay. These creatures are shuffling towards you, moaning in an inhuman way. They kind of quiver and shake as they're approaching you, and they're raising their lumpen, misshapen hands as they advance on you. You are surprised, and they spend that surprise time to close in on you. Let's see. So, what is your armor class, Techno?
That would be 6.
That would be 6. Okay. All right. I don't think that's actually going to get you, but I'm going to double check.
I hope.
Um. Okay, it does connect with a fist.
Ah.
It does 3 points of damage,
And
and it batters you. You kind of stagger back with the seriousness of the wound does not appear to be great. And let's see. Next up, what is Sam's armor class?
6.
All right.
Oh,
Okay. Let's see. Let's clear that first. Sam, you take. Come on. There we go. Sam, you take a total of 3 points of damage. And oh, your feathers have got this disgusting crap on it. And last but not least, Kennick, how about you? What is your...
Sandy's armor class is 6.
All right. Well, good news for you. You only take a couple of points of damage as one of the fists splats into you. All right. So, what is Techno going to do?
well, being as there's clearly no way to flee, right?
I mean, you can go, but you can go back up the corridor where you came
Yeah, but I'm
from.
gonna get mobbed when I do that,
Okay.
right?
And yeah,
Um,
they're in melee with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna attack one with a short sword.
All right. And go ahead and do so.
Alrighty.
An 8 and
Yeah, it's weapon class 3.
all right. So this is physical attack. So let's see. It's 9, 8. You actually got it.
Oh wow, beauty.
So roll your damage. They are medium. So for and you have a short sword. It's going to be a d6.
Yes, sir. Gotcha. 3 points.
All right. So yeah, you kind of stab into the gooey mass, pull your sword back, and like there's not blood on it. There's just more goo, the same color as the goo that was on the outside. It
Might
sort
I
of
ask?
No,
I
go ahead.
apologize if I can.
No, go ahead.
Might I ask if he appeared to be affected by that? Like
Uh,
any
there
noticeable anything?
sort of a bubbling noise comes from approximately where its mouth would be.
Okay.
All right. What is Sam doing?
he will. Oh shoot!
With what?
I wish. No, you know what? So he's got that bottle of Fireball.
Okay.
If he can break it over one of them, he will break it. If not, he will unscrew it and dump it all over one of them.
If you want to swing it like a club, you can swing it like a club. If you want to unscrew it and try to splash it, we'll treat it as a grenade attack. Whichever you think is going to be more efficacious.
I want it covered in alcohol.
Okay, so you're going to try and break it?
Sure.
All right, roll a d20. I apologize if I'm missing any comments or super chats that anyone might be sharing. Anyone?
You did
17.
not miss any super chats.
Thank you, Dooms. 17. Was that what that was, or
Wasn't? I have 8.
you have an 8? An 8 still hits, actually.
Oh.
So yeah. So let's see. Okay, the bottle clubs it. Give me. Let's see. We are talking about. That's not what I want. All right. Give me a D6 roll, Yang. It does not break when you hit him with it.
2.
So yeah, you kind of can see sort of a faint gleam of bone beneath the goo when you hit it. And finally, what is Sandy doing?
She's also going to take one of the random bottles and do the same thing that Sam did, or try
All
to.
right. First roll to hit. A 16 will hit. Okay, the bottle is apparently full enough that when you strike it, it splits. Roll a d6, please. Okay, a telling blow. Yeah, you really wallop this thing hard, and the plastic bursts, and you can see some of the liquid has flowed out onto it. These things are raising up their fists to strike at you guys again. Let me make a quick note, if you would, please. And okay, so let's get angled. How did that? I promise you, I can't speak English. Let's get action declarations. Techno, what are you doing in this round?
I'm going to continue to slash, stab, whatever I can do with this short sword against the one I hit.
Okay, and how about Sam?
So torches in some way to light a torch are kind of standard gear, right?
I mean, you could have a flint and tinder, yeah.
Well, okay, so the one that Sandy hit is now covered in alcohol, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can over the stench, like being close to these
Mhm.
things, it smells pretty terrible. You can.
Sam will try to light it on fire then.
All right, so you're spending this round trying to get your flint and tinder going to light it on fire. And Sandy, how about you?
She'll take another bottle and whack the next one, or
All
try
right.
to.
You've only got 2 bottles, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You're not carrying like multiple full booze bottles around with you.
That's
a
okay.
couple,
I know where there's a supply.
a couple of
I can
fifths
restock.
is about it. All right, let's roll initiative, and we'll start with Dooms, please. That's a D6.
Alrighty.
I got a 2. Party got a 3. I like those computer digital dice. Those are very neat. The D20 really sent me. I like that a lot. So Party goes
Nice.
first. Let's start with Techno.
All right.
Yeah, techno music. Sorry. That is a hit.
Oh.
That is a solid hit. A telling blow
Ooh,
for a point of damage. All right. Hey, every little point helps.
indeed.
Next up is going to be Sam. You are digging through your gear to get a flint and tinder out. Sandy, you are grabbing another bottle to try and pop this thing. A pop bottle, if you will. Roll your 2 hit, please. That will not hit. Okay.
It happens.
This is ground control to Major Zomb. All right. So Techno, you are struck once again, and you take but a point of damage.
Excellent.
Sam, you are struck twice, and you take 5, 3 and 2, 5 points of damage. And Sandy, you are struck once, and you take 4 points of 2 points of damage. Sorry, 2 points of damage for Sandy. All right, so I need to check something real quick on the matrices here, because I think I know what Sam is about to do. I do believe I know what Sam is about to do now that he's got his flint and or tinder out.
Light him on fire.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I know what they're going to do. So Yang, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative for us, please? There's a 2. You guys talking about Latin American versions of American TV shows. I remember there was a big to-do back when Breaking Bad was big in Mexican broadcasting. They had a telenovela version of Breaking Bad. Just in case anyone was interested. A 3. Okay, so here come the zombies. Those are both misses on Techno.
Yes.
Sam, hold still. This may hurt a little bit. Sam is struck for a single point of damage. And the 11 hits you there, Sandy, for 2 points of damage. Also add 2 points of damage more to Techno. Where you've been splattered with this goo is starting to itch and burn, and your skin is starting to blister.
That's what I was afraid of.
Sam, also add 2 points of damage. Underneath your feathers is beginning to itch and burn and blister.
Question. He has an 18 resistance to poison.
Uh-huh.
Would that help? And plus 3 radiation resistance.
Oh, and if this were radiation or capital P poison, yes, it would. And Sandy, that's 5 points of damage to you from the corrosive, horrible effects of whatever this goo is. All right, party counterattacks. Techno, do your thing.
Got it.
That will absolutely hit.
Got it. Come on.
Oh, I'm...
There
All right, 5. All right. Okay. Sam, give me a... go ahead and give me a D20 roll. So you're basically...
Oh. It's brutal.
Okay. You're basically just trying to strike sparks onto this thing. So roll 2d6, please.
Ooh.
That's a
double
12.
sixes.
Okay. Yeah, the stink of this thing burning, it's god awful. You will do 6 more points of damage to it in the next round. So is that right? Hang on a second. All right. And last but not least, Sandy, You want to try and brain this thing again?
Oh, heck yeah.
All right.
Heck no.
You do not. Okay. Next round, one of them is on fire. It's just sort of melting and crisping. It is horrible. Um, I'm guessing everybody that can melee is meleeing in this round. Is Sam doing anything different?
Yeah, he's continuing to burn, right?
Yes, he will take a d6 damage in this round. Automatically.
Then I will stab him with my spear.
Okay.
I'm gonna radiated eyes. May as well.
Okay. Very cool. And Sandy, you're trying to hit him with a bottle again?
Yep.
All right. Let's roll initiative, and it is your turn, Kanek. D6. All right.
Sorry, guys.
It's expected.
I hate the undead I see from zombie to zombie. Those both miss. Techno, very good.
All right.
Sam is not quite so fortunate.
Ooh.
Ouch.
But you only take 2 points of damage.
Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. And these are for Sandy. Sandy, you are struck once, and you will take 3 points of damage. Counterattack, please. First, roll the d6, Sam, for the one that you set on fire and is now presently on fire.
Ooh, nice.
6. Wow, you have maxed out the damage on this thing. The flames do gutter out, but it is in terrible condition. Not that it looked great before. All right, let's start with Techno, please.
Yeah, I'll use.
Radiated eyes. Okay, so I gotta dip over here real quick.
Mine's 3d6 intensity.
3d6. Okay, roll your 3d6.
$13.
All right,
Nice.
so
Well, if they're affected at all.
okay, yeah, it just kind of blisters and everywhere. You just kind of play your eyes up and down its form, and yeah, it stops. Whatever horrible corruption this thing had, hard, deadly radiation appears to be the cure, because it just collapses into a puddle of bone and corruption on the deck. Sam, instabulate, please.
Sorry, you said you cut out there for me. You said go ahead.
Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. Oh,
That will
man.
miss. Sandy, try and hit it with your rubber bottle. 18 will hit. You strike it with the bottle. Roll a d6 to see how much damage you do. A single d6, please.
Oh, sorry.
How did you roll 2 of different types?
I have
that
no
was a neat
idea.
trait. All right, so
I have no idea.
You inflict 3 points of damage on it.
I'm assuming
Okay.
the bottle does not break yet.
No, the bottle did not break. By the way, if you guys want to know what these things look like, anyone out there in the audience or anyone, any of my players, go look up The Incredible Melting Man on YouTube. That's kind of what these things look like. Terrible, like Z-grade ripoff of one of the Quatermass movies, the old Nigel Neal British sci-fi horror movies. But the special effects by Rick Baker are top shelf. That's kind of what these things look like. Daniel Rowan says, can I just say it's a joy to have the group back to their usual shenanigans, me at the helm, and the group desperately trying not to perish in the worst possible manners. Kennex using a liquor bottle as a weapon. All right. Techno, the corruption causes you more pain, and you take 9 points of damage. Sam, the corruption causes you more pain, and you take 6 more points of damage.
Man.
Sandy, the corruption causes you more pain, and you take 5 points of damage. So there are 2 of these things left. And I think before we get too much deeper into combat, that is where we're going to call it tonight at the top of the round, because we are at the top of the hour. I want to thank all my players for returning tonight. I know Kevin would have been here. He did have real life stuff intervene. I want to thank everybody out there in the audience tonight. We had 186 of you lunatics tune in tonight, and I really appreciate it. 24 of you folks over on YouTube. I realize they're not all steady views over on Twitter, but if you stopped by on Twitter and watched, thank you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. So yes, thank you to all of our players, Doomsword, Yang, and Kennick. I will be back on Monday. That's right. I will be returning on Monday. And we'll start the week off right. And then we're going to play some AD&D, which Doomsword will be in on Tuesday. And then if Kyle's feeling up to it, we'll be getting into some AD&D on Wednesday, which I think, Kennick, you'll be here for that. And then next Friday, we will be right back here to find out what is happening to our intrepid adventurers. Thank you for swinging by, Daniel. Thank you, everyone, new and old, who stopped back by. Folks, I'm mutating them and killing them as fast as I can. We have returned to flight. So from all of us here at the Delver's Dungeon, look, whether they're pure strain, whether they're mutant, doesn't matter. Do keep your eyes out for those dreaded owl bears. Peace. Good night. God bless. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take